I never thought I'd be writing a post like this. I'm Brian, 34M, and up until recently, my life was pretty straightforward. I've always been the guy who had it all figured out, or so I thought. I work as a software engineer for a tech startup, make good money, and have a flexible work-from-home setup that lets me travel whenever I want. My apartment is in a trendy part of the city, filled with modern art and tech gadgets. Kids? Never part of the plan. My best friend from college, Jody, 32F, has 2 kids, Maria, 8F, and Max, 5M. Jody and I met during freshman orientation when we both got lost trying to find the chemistry building. We bonded over our shared love of terrible sci-fi movies and became inseparable. Even after college, when I moved across the country for my first job, we stayed in touch with weekly video calls. Jody married Tom right after graduation. He was a great guy, funny, kind, and absolutely devoted to Jody. I was the best man at their wedding. When Maria was born, they asked me to be her godfather. I accepted, thinking it was just a formality. I'd send birthday gifts and maybe visit once a year. No big deal, right? Then, 2 years ago, the unthinkable happened. Tom was in a car accident. He didn't make it. I flew back for the funeral and stayed with Jody for a week after. It was heartbreaking seeing her and the kids struggle with their grief. But Jody was always strong. She picked up extra shifts at the hospital where she works as a nurse, started seeing a grief counselor, and focused on giving Maria and Max as normal a life as possible. We all thought the worst was behind them. Then, 3 months ago, Jody called me late one night. I knew something was wrong immediately. She never calls that late unless it's an emergency. She'd been diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. The treatment plan was aggressive, surgery followed by months of chemo and radiation. Jody's parents live across the country and can't move to help out. They're in their 70s and her dad has early-stage Alzheimer's. Her in-laws are in their 80s and not in good health themselves. As Jody explained her situation, she broke down crying. She was terrified about what would happen to the kids during her treatment. Without thinking, I offered to take them in. Now, I should mention that I've never been good with kids. I'm the guy who gets awkward at baby showers and doesn't know how to talk to children at family gatherings. But these were Jody's kids. I'd known them since they were born. And the thought of them going into foster care or being separated was unbearable. So, that's how I ended up becoming a temporary guardian to 2 grieving kids while their mom fights cancer. It's been a massive adjustment, to say the least. I had to convert my home office into a bedroom for Maria and my guest room for Max. My carefully curated art collection is now hidden away to make space for kid stuff. My fridge, once filled with gourmet takeout and craft beer, now stocks apple juice and string cheese. The first few weeks were absolute chaos. I had no idea how to take care of kids full-time. Simple things like packing school lunches or helping with homework felt overwhelming. Max had nightmares and wet the bed frequently. Maria was angry and lashed out often, especially at bedtime when she missed her mom the most. I made so many mistakes in those early days. I tried to bribe Maria to behave with ice cream, only to have her throw up all over my new couch because she was lactose intolerant, a fact I somehow didn't know. I sent Max to school in his sister's glittery shoes because I couldn't find his sneakers. I burnt countless dinners, forgot about school events, and once left Maria waiting at her dance class for an hour because I got caught up in a work call. But slowly, we started to find a rhythm. I learned their routines and preferences. We established house rules together. I started involving them in my hobbies, teaching Maria how to code simple games and letting Max help tend my herb garden on the balcony. To my surprise, I've grown to really enjoy having them around. Maria's quick wit reminds me so much of Jody at that age. She has this dry sense of humor that catches me off guard sometimes. The other day, when I burned dinner again, she patted my arm and said, "It's okay, Uncle Brian. We can't all be good at everything. You're really good at ordering pizza." Max's enthusiasm for everything is infectious. He gets excited about the smallest things, a butterfly in the park, a new flavor of toothpaste, the way soap bubbles reflect rainbow colors. It's made me appreciate the little things in life more. We have movie nights where they introduce me to kids' films I've never seen. I've attended my first school play. Maria was a tree and had no lines, but I cheered like she'd won an Oscar, and parent-teacher conference. Turns out, I need to work on getting Maria to participate more in class discussions. The kids video chat with Jody daily, and we visit her in the hospital every weekend. Her treatment is going well so far, but it's still early days. The plan is for the kids to stay with me for at least 6 months, possibly longer depending on Jody's recovery. Here's where things get complicated. Last week, Jody's ex-boyfriend Ryan, 35M, showed up at my door unannounced. I knew of him vaguely. He and Jody dated for about a year in college, breaking up shortly before she met Tom. Apparently, he just found out about Jody's illness and the kids' situation. Ryan was furious that Jody hadn't contacted him to take the kids. He argued that as someone who had dated their mom and known them as babies, he was a more appropriate guardian than me. He accused me of overstepping boundaries and trying to play family with Jody and her kids. I was taken aback. Ryan doesn't even live in the same city as us. He's never been a consistent part of the kids' lives. They barely remember him. But he insisted that he was going to petition for temporary guardianship and that I should back off. To give you some context, Ryan and Jody's relationship was complicated. They met at a party during our sophomore year of college. Ryan was charming and intense, and Jody fell hard for him. But he was also possessive and had a temper. I remember Jody calling me in tears more than once because of their fights. They broke up when Ryan got jealous of the time Jody was spending on her studies and gave her an ultimatum, him or medical school. Jody chose her career. I'm at a loss. The kids are settled here, their schools and routines are established. Moving them again seems cruel. But I'm not family, and I don't want to cause legal issues for Jody while she's fighting cancer. Am I wrong for wanting to keep the kids with me? Should I step aside and let Ryan take over? How do I navigate this without adding stress to Jody's plate? Any advice would be appreciated. Update 1. It's been a whirlwind month since my last post. Thank you all for your advice and support. A lot has happened, so I'll try to break it down. First, I spoke with Jody about Ryan's surprise visit. She was shocked and angry. Apparently, Ryan had reached out to her on social media, but she hadn't responded, not wanting to deal with past drama during her treatment. She never expected him to show up at my place. Jody was adamant that she wanted the kids to stay with me. She explained that Ryan had been verbally abusive towards the end of their relationship, which was why she cut contact. She didn't want him anywhere near the kids. Jody shared some stories about their relationship that she'd never told me before. It turns out that Ryan's controlling behavior went beyond what I'd known. He'd isolate her from friends, check her phone, and belittle her career aspirations. The final straw was when he shoved her during an argument. She left him that night and never looked back. With Jody's blessing, I contacted a family law attorney. We filed for temporary guardianship to formalize the current arrangement. The lawyer advised me to document everything related to the kids' care and Ryan's behavior. I started keeping a detailed log of our daily routines, the kids' school performance, and any incidents involving Ryan. Ryan didn't take this well. He started showing up at the kids' school, trying to pick them up. Thankfully, the school had been notified and didn't allow it. He then began leaving angry voicemails and sending threatening texts, both to me and Jody. In one particularly disturbing message, he threatened to take the kids and disappear if we didn't let him see them. Things came to a head 2 weeks ago. I was at the park with Maria and Max when Ryan appeared. It was a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and we were having a picnic. Maria was pushing Max on the swings when I saw Ryan approaching. He tried to convince the kids to go with him, saying their mom wanted them to. Maria, bless her, knew something was off and loudly told Ryan to leave us alone. She grabbed Max's hand and ran back to me. A couple of other parents noticed the commotion and came over, causing Ryan to back off and leave. That incident was the last straw. We got a restraining order against Ryan, covering both me and the kids. He's not allowed within 500 feet of us or to contact us in any way. The judge was particularly concerned about Ryan's threat to take the kids and granted the order immediately. On a more positive note, the kids are doing much better. Maria's grades have improved, and her teacher says she's opening up more in class. She's even joined the school's drama club and is excited about their upcoming production of Alice in Wonderland. Max's nightmares have become less frequent. He still occasionally climbs into my bed in the middle of the night, but it's happening less often. They still miss their mom terribly, but they're adjusting to our new normal. We've started a new tradition of family meetings every Sunday where we discuss the upcoming week, any concerns or issues, and plan fun activities. It's helped the kids feel more in control and involved in our household decisions. Jody's treatment is progressing well. The doctors are cautiously optimistic. She's finished chemotherapy and is preparing for radiation. The kids and I visit her twice a week now, and those visits are full of laughter and love. We bring her homemade cards, pictures the kids have drawn, and updates on their daily lives. Jody's hair has started to grow back, and Max is fascinated by how soft and fuzzy it is. I've been touched by how my friends and colleagues have stepped up to help. My neighbor, Mrs. Johnson, an elderly retired teacher, often babysits when I need to run errands. She's been a godsend, helping the kids with their homework and teaching them to bake cookies. My company has been incredibly understanding, allowing me to adjust my work hours to accommodate the kids' schedules. My team even organized a meal train, ensuring we had home-cooked dinners delivered 3 times a week. Looking ahead, we're planning a small birthday party for Max next month. It'll be the first birthday he's had without his dad, so we want to make it special. Maria's been helping me plan games and decorations. We're going with a superhero theme. Max is obsessed with Spider-Man right now. I'm a bit out of my depth with party planning, but Maria's enthusiasm is contagious. I never imagined I'd be in this situation, but I wouldn't change it for the world. These kids have brought so much joy and purpose into my life. I'm committed to seeing this through, no matter what challenges we face. There are still tough days when Maria cries for her mom, or when Max asks when his dad is coming back. But there are also beautiful moments, like when Max learned to tie his shoes and ran to show me, beaming with pride, or when Maria snuggled up to me during movie night and whispered, "I'm glad you're here, Uncle Brian." We're taking it one day at a time, but I think we're going to be okay. Update 2. It's been another eventful few months since my last update. I'm happy to report that things have mostly settled into a good rhythm, though we've had our share of challenges. The biggest news is that Jody has finished her cancer treatment. Her latest scans show no evidence of disease. She still has a long recovery ahead, but the doctors are very positive about her prognosis. The day we got the news, Jody called me from the hospital, crying happy tears. I put her on speakerphone so the kids could hear, and we all ended up in a group hug, laughing and crying together. We had a small celebration at the hospital the next day. The kids made a "No More Cancer" banner, and we brought Jody's favorite cupcakes from the bakery near her old apartment. It was a beautiful moment, seeing Jody's smile reach her eyes for the first time in months. Jody's recovery means we're starting to discuss transition plans. She's not ready to take the kids back full-time yet, she's still very weak and needs to focus on healing. We've agreed that the kids will stay with me for at least another 3 months, with gradually increasing visits to Jody's place. It's a bittersweet situation. I'm overjoyed that Jody is getting better, but I've grown so attached to having the kids around full-time. Ryan hasn't given up entirely, though his efforts have become less aggressive. He tried to contest the restraining order, but the judge upheld it. He's now sending letters through his lawyer, still pushing for visitation rights. Jody's firmly against it, and we're following our lawyer's advice to document everything but not engage. It's stressful, but we're trying not to let it overshadow the positive progress we've made. The kids continue to amaze me every day. Maria, now 9, joined the school's coding club and is thriving. She often teaches me new tricks she's learned. The other day, she showed me a simple game she'd coded all by herself. I was so proud I nearly burst. Max, now 6, has developed a passion for cooking. Our weekend pancake making sessions have become a cherished ritual. He's getting quite creative with the toppings. Last week he insisted on adding gummy bears to the batter. It was interesting. We had a bit of a scare last month when Max came down with a severe case of flu. He ended up in the hospital for a few days with pneumonia. It was terrifying, and I gained a whole new level of respect for what Jody has gone through. I spent nights sleeping in an uncomfortable hospital chair, worried sick every time his fever spiked. The experience brought us all closer together, though. Maria was an amazing big sister, reading stories to Max in the hospital and helping him with his homework when he got home. On a personal note, this experience has made me reevaluate my life choices. I always thought I didn't want kids, but now I can't imagine my life without Maria and Max in it. I've started to consider the possibility of fostering or adopting in the future, once things settle down with Jody and the kids. It's a big decision, and not one I'm taking lightly, but it's definitely on my mind. My relationship with Jody has deepened through all of this. We've always been close friends, but going through this together has created a bond I can't quite describe. We're not romantic, that's not on either of our radars right now, but there's a partnership and understanding between us that feels really special. The other night, after we'd put the kids to bed, we stayed up late just talking. We reminisced about our college days, laughed about some of the ridiculous situations we found ourselves in with the kids, and shared our hopes for the future. It felt like coming home. As we look towards the future, there's still a lot of uncertainty. But I'm no longer afraid of it. Whatever comes, I know we'll face it together as a family, in whatever form that takes. Update 3, it's been a year since my original post, and what a year it's been. I'm writing this update from Jody's new house, where I'm helping her and the kids settle in. Jody's recovery has been remarkable. She's regained her strength and is back to work part-time at the hospital. Her hair has grown back, curly and silver, she jokes that she looks distinguished now. After much discussion, we decided it was time for the kids to move back in with her. It's bittersweet. I'm thrilled that Jody is well enough to care for them, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss having them around all the time. We've worked out a co-parenting arrangement of sorts. The kids spend weekends and 2 afternoons a week with me. It's been an adjustment, but it's working well so far. Maria, 10 now, and Max, 7, seem happy with the arrangement, and it allows Jody some time to rest and focus on her continued recovery. The transition hasn't been without its challenges. The first night the kids spent back at Jody's, Max called me in tears, saying he missed his Brian pancakes for breakfast. We've had to navigate some confusing emotions, the kids feeling guilty for missing me when they're with Jody, or vice versa. But we're figuring it out, day by day. Ryan made one last attempt to insert himself into the situation a few months ago. He showed up at Jody's workplace, causing a scene. He was shouting about his rights and how we were keeping his family from him. Thankfully, Jody's colleagues were aware of the situation and quickly escorted him out. The incident actually worked in our favor. The judge extended the restraining order indefinitely. The most surprising development has been in my personal life. Remember my elderly neighbor who used to babysit? Her daughter, Laura, 36F, came to visit and we hit it off immediately. We've been dating for 4 months now. She's wonderful with the kids and understands the unique dynamics of my relationship with Jody and the children. Laura's a high school art teacher, and she's been instrumental in helping Maria explore her creative side. They've spent hours together working on art projects, and Maria's room is now covered in colorful paintings and sculptures. Max adores Laura too. She's been teaching him to make homemade Play-Doh, which has become his new obsession. This experience has changed me in ways I never expected. I've gone from a confirmed bachelor to someone who can't imagine life without kids around. Laura and I have started talking about having a child of our own someday. It's both exciting and terrifying to think about. Jody has been incredibly supportive of my relationship with Laura. In fact, she was the one who encouraged me to ask Laura out in the first place. She said life's too short not to take chances on happiness, a lesson she learned all too well during her cancer battle. We recently had a big family dinner to celebrate 1 year cancer-free for Jody. Laura cooked a feast, and we invited Mrs. Johnson, my team from work, and some of Jody's colleagues who had been so supportive during her treatment. As I looked around the table, I was struck by how much love was there. It wasn't the family I ever imagined having, but it's perfect in its own way. Maria and Max are thriving. Maria's coding skills have improved so much that she's now mentoring younger kids in the coding club. She talks about wanting to be a software engineer like me when she grows up, which fills me with pride. Max's cooking adventures continue. He made scrambled eggs all by himself last weekend, with supervision, of course. He declared them almost as good as Bryan eggs, which I consider high praise. There have been hard moments too. Last month marked the 3rd anniversary of Tom's death, and it hit the kids hard. We had a quiet day at home, looking through old photo albums and sharing memories. It was painful, but also healing in a way. I'm learning that grief isn't something you get over, it's something you learn to live with. As for me, I'm still adjusting to this new life. My apartment, once a sleek bachelor pad, is now filled with kids' artwork, toys, and the inevitable clutter that comes with family life. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. I still have moments of doubt and insecurity. Am I doing enough? Am I making the right decisions for the kids? But then Maria will give me a hug out of the blue, or Max will fall asleep on my lap during movie night, and I know that somehow, we're making this work. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes the best things come from the most unexpected situations. I'm grateful for every part of this journey, challenges and all. Whatever the future holds, I know we'll face it together. To anyone out there facing unexpected life changes, I want to say this: it's okay to be scared. It's okay to not have all the answers. But don't let fear stop you from opening your heart to new possibilities. You might just find a love and fulfillment you never knew was possible.